Hey there, everybody. The third opera in our 2013 season was written by a composer that probably few of you have ever heard of, Ildebrando Pizzetti. Let me introduce you to him. Pizzetti was the son of a piano teacher born in Parma in 1880. That makes him a contemporary of composers like Bela Bartok, Igor Stravinsky, Alban Berg, and Maurice Ravel. Early on, he was more interested in theater than in music, writing plays and dramas for his young classmates to perform. He held on to this interest after entering the Parma Conservatory, where he received his diploma in music in 1901. For a time, he was an assistant conductor at the Teatro Regio in Parma, and later he was appointed to the faculty of the Conservatory in Florence. It was in this cultural and intellectual capital of Italy that Pizzetti blossomed and began to explore the borders of musical composition. But he attended the premiere of the performance of Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring in Paris, 1913, and this seems to have been a turning point for him. The New Grove Dictionary of Opera says that he experienced perplexity and disorientation through this seminal 20th century musical event, and it seems to have contributed to his backing off from any wanderings into so-called new music. So Pizzetti's music, in terms of style, doesn't go much beyond, impressionism, a musical language embraced by other Italian composers of the time like Ottorino Respighi and Riccardo Zandonai. Pizzetti was a conservative composer who later in his career actively turned away from the more progressive musical movements of the day. His time at the Parma Conservatory also got him interested in early music, Italian music of the 15th and 16th centuries, and he occasionally can be found imitating that style and using it to dramatic advantage. Which brings us to Murder in the Cathedral. This subject was perfect for Pizzetti because he was drawn to subjects in which the characters struggled with, ethical or philosophical issues, dramatic situations that called for big choral scenes and historical events steeped in religious meaning. Luckily, T.S. Eliot's verse play, Murder in the Cathedral, was just the perfect vehicle for a composer of Pizzetti's theatrical bent, because the libretto was bound to be superior to any of the other libretti that he'd set to music up to this point in his career. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the choral music in Murder in the Cathedral. The opera calls for a large chorus divided into two parts, one made up of the women of Canterbury and one made up of the priests of the cathedral. As in the T.S. Eliot play, the women begin the piece watching and waiting for the return of Thomas Becket, their archbishop, after an absence of 7 years in exile. The ladies are distraught, nervous, expectant, and powerless. The music of the opening of the opera conveys all of this, especially the minute or so of purely atmospheric orchestral music which begins the score. Listen. It isn't until the climax of the piece in Act 2, just before the murder of Thomas, that all of the choral forces are unleashed as the priests in the cathedral sing the ancient chant sequence Dies Irae, which was traditionally sung during the Requiem Mass, and used here to foretell the imminent assassination of the Archbishop. In a way, the opera is a kind of passion play, much like the original Eliot play, originally written for the Canterbury Festival by the poet in 1935, as a matter of fact. It's a play of ideas, not of emotions, and Pizzetti stays close to that definition of the piece by not allowing the music to overcome the drama. It's not, like so many other Italian operas, a melodrama, but a true drama, with all importance being given to the words and the music being seen as a kind of handmaiden to the text. That's not that the music isn't beautiful or exciting or laden with emotion. It's just that the composer set out to balance these two elements, music and words, more than they usually are, in order to let the text truly ring out. As a result, the playwright, T.S. Eliot, who was nearing 70 at the time of the premiere of the opera at La Scala in 1958, was quite taken with the opera and congratulated Pizzetti on his achievement. Of course, at the center of the drama is Becket himself, a virtuoso role for bass, which will be performed by Ferruccio Furlanetto here in San Diego. More about Becket and this monumental role, a role that can be easily compared to Boris Godunov or King Philip in Verdi's Don Carlo, at another time. Till then, I'm Nick Reveles, and I'll see you at the opera.